Welcome to Horror Year, where every story is a journey into the unknown. If you're brave enough to face your darkest fears and uncover the most chilling tales, you've come to the right place. So, dim the lights, turn up the volume, and subscribe to Horror Year. Your journey into terror begins now. Dolls had always been Sophia's passion. They were everywhere in her room, each with a unique personality and name. She devoted endless hours to putting them in order, giving them elegant clothes to wear, combing their hair, and crafting intricate tales about their exploits. They were more than simply toys to Sophia. They were her best friends. She did, however, refuse to play with one particular doll. It was an old porcelain doll with icy blue eyes, golden hair in ringlets, and a pink frock edged in lace. Sophia had never grown to love the gift her grandma had given her on her 5th birthday. Her skin crawled when she saw the doll, which she called Eloise. Its icy gaze appeared to follow her around the space, observing everything she did. Sophia pushed Eloise into the deepest, shadowy recess of her wardrobe, where it stayed unused and gathered dust, since she could not stand to look at it. The doll remained concealed for years until Sophia, who was now 13, made the decision to organize her wardrobe. She found Eloise while going through old toys and clothes. When she removed the doll, its once perfect face was cracked, and its eyes were even more lifeless, and her pulse raced. She felt an odd uneasiness as she clutched the doll. She briefly thought about crushing it to pieces, but she thought better when she realized it was a present from her grandma. Sophia made the decision to sell it online instead in the hopes of earning some cash from the eerie artifact. She took a picture of Eloise and put it up for $50 on an antique doll collector's website. She received a message from a buyer in a matter of minutes. "Hey, this is the kind of doll I've been looking for a very long time. If delivery is included, I'm willing to pay $200 for it. Kindly notify me if you decide to accept my offer." Sophia gasped for air. It seemed excessive to spend $200 on something she detested. She answered right away, "I appreciate your offer." "I agree. Send me your shipping address, please." Soon after, she got the response, "I'm grateful. 13 Hollow Road, Salem, Massachusetts is my address. When it ships, please email me the tracking number." Sophia hesitated, a shiver running down her back. The address appeared a little off, almost like it belonged to the doll. However, she dismissed it, calling it a coincidence. Feeling a strange sort of relief, she put Eloise in a box, taped it up, and shipped it off the next day. Sophia finally got rid of the doll that had been haunting her for so long, and she slept comfortably that night. But her respite was short-lived. She heard a quiet knock on her bedroom door 2 nights later. She murmured, "Mom?" Into the shadows. No response. She dismissed it as a dream and rolled over to resume her slumber. However, a second, louder knock followed. With a racing heart, Sophia sat up. "Who's it?" she questioned, her voice faltering. A voice said from the other side, "It's me, Eloise." Sophia felt her blood freeze. The voice was the same one she had heard whispering when she had pressed the doll's belly. She bolted from bed in a panic, closing the door behind her. She felt the walls closing in around her and her breathing was shallow. "Sophia, let me in." The voice grew louder and more forceful. "I want to play." With a backward step, Sophia quickly looked out the window. At that moment, she caught sight of the doll's pale face, pressed up against the glass, its eyes sparkling in the moonlight. Her heart gave out. "How did you get here exactly?" She stumbled over her words. "I returned," Eloise answered. "You ought not to have sold me." Sophia felt a tremble in her body. In an attempt to hide, she fled to the closet, but when she opened the door, a little fractured hand emerged from the darkness. Eloise's icy, rigid fingers encircled her ankle. "No!" As she tried to kick the toy away, Sophia screamed. Eloise's porcelain face contorted into a menacing smile as her hold tightened, and she was pulled toward the closet. With a harsh, menacing whisper, Eloise said, "You can't escape me. You abandoned me, Sophia. You gave up on me. You won't ever leave now." As Sophia was pulled into the shadows, her cries could be heard throughout the night. She last saw Eloise's eerie blue eyes, hungry for something she had been waiting years for, staring down at her. After that evening, nobody saw Sophia ever more. Everything in her room was still the same, save for a recent addition to the collection of dolls, a porcelain figure with wide, terrified eyes and wavy brown hair that seemed to be caught in a silent scream forever. And that brings us to the end of today's delightful story. I really hope it had you on the edge of your seat. If you liked this story, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. It means a lot to me. And if you're new around here, feel free to subscribe. There's always an exciting surprise waiting just around the corner, and you won't want to miss it. Do you have a spooky story to share or a fun idea for our next tale? Feel free to share in the comments below. I'm really curious to know what gives you the creeps the most. And as always, take care, keep exploring. And remember, sometimes the most chilling tales are the ones left untold. Catch you in the next one, if you're up for it.